Hello everyone, I'm Mr. Conductor, and I'm here with a new video. Well, I'm not really Mr. Conductor, it's me, Timothy 2009, and I am back with another video. So, you remember last time when we took a look at the Gauge 1 Troublesome Trucks? I bet you all can tell why I'm dressed as Mr. Conductor. That's right, we're doing another Thomas and the Magic Railroad related video. And today we're going to be taking a look at my favorite character from Thomas and the Magic Railroad herself. The one and only Lady the Lost Engine, voiced by Britt Allcroft. And we all know about Thomas and the Magic Railroad. So, this should be an interesting video. So, I thought I'd make Lady just as, to pay tribute to Britt Allcroft and to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Thomas and the Magic Railroad. So, join me as we take a look at the Gauge 1 Lady herself. Now, Lady was another one of those models that I just made for fun. So, I never really thought she'd be finished, but seeing it as this is the 25th anniversary of Thomas and the Magic Railroad, and seeing how sad that Britt Allcroft passed away is, here we have Lady. Now, I'm not really gonna have a whole lot to say. I'm sure a lot of you probably know about Thomas and the Magic Railroad and have talked about it before. However, if there's one thing that doesn't really get talked about as much, it's Lady the Lost Engine herself. That's what I'm here for. So, here we have Lady. Now, I think she looks pretty good as a, model. And she is my favorite character from Thomas and the Magic Railroad as well. Now again, I'm not going to have a whole lot to say here, but for those who don't know who Lady is, Lady is basically Burnett Stone's own little engine. And she's basically what gives the island of Sodor engines life. She's basically a god of the Thomas universe. And she's the one who's holds the world of Sodor and is what keeps it alive. Now, if there's one thing that people said about Thomas and the Magic Railroad is that the plot is very confusing, yet the world building doesn't make any sense. Since Sodor is basically this magical world that you can only travel to with gold dust and this lost engine over here. And that there's some type of magical portal. But personally, Lady is actually my favorite part of Thomas and the Magic Railroad. Some people could argue and say that she's basically used as a plot device just to hold the world of Sodor together, and she's the sole reason that Diesel 10 wants to destroy her and get rid of all the steam engines. Now, when people talk about Thomas and the Magic Railroad, they always talk about the character Diesel 10 the most, how threatening he is and how menacing he is as a villain. But some people don't really acknowledge Lady that much, and when they do acknowledge her, they just say that she's what holds the world together and is what's keeping it alive. And while yes, it is sort of she's God if you think about it, since she created the island of Sodor and is what holds it, is what's keeping it alive. Although one thing that someone else did point out is that since Lady is voiced by Britt Allcroft, it feels sort of like Britt Allcroft herself and how she created Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. If you really think about it.
She does the voice in the movie?
Yeah, she voices Lady in the Magic Railroad movie. And I gotta say, she does a pretty good job. If they did bring her back in the CGI series, it would have been nice if they brought back Britt Allcroft to reprise her role as Lady. However, unfortunately, I don't see it happening now that she's passed away.
Unless they did an AI voice thing.
Well, then
Which they can do.
Well, she would sound like a text-to-speech character by then.
Right.
Unless they got, someone else to, capture the voice Britt Allcroft gave Lady. Now, Lady's design is actually one of my favorites. She isn't really based off a real-life locomotive. More she has her own little, freelance design. It does look pretty nice. She's a pretty cute engine. Now, I'm sorry if the side rods keep falling off. I'll explain about that later. But, Her color's very nice. Like, she has this nice gold smokestack, that shining purple body. Now, I've always found Lady's color to be a little confusing.
Turn
Like,
it to the back. I'm trying to zoom.
when I was a little kid. Like,
There we go.
I think she's meant to be like this, like, a mix between, like, burgundy and, like, purple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a real odd color.
Now, when you, like, look at Lady in, like, some terms of, like, screening and, like, terms of lighting, she does look a bit red. Whether it's, like, widescreen or full screen or, like, whatever type of, like, TV or, like, vintage, like, screen you have. The colors don't really, like, look, the same. Like, whether you have, like, a VHS or DVD copy of Magic Railroad, you probably always see, like, a different type of lighting. I mean, this movie came out in 2000, so, like, I don't think the lighting or, like, live action, like, model work has, like, aged that big. Like, it still looks pretty beautiful, like, when you look at it. The nice dark colors of the engines, like, the beautiful, like, lighting of, like, the Magic Railroad itself, and, like, the beautiful blue skies and, like, the green grass in the background. And just seeing, like, these live action humans, like, next to some model trains is, like, pretty impressive. Like, it sort of, like, feels, like, surreal in a lot of ways. I mean, this feels like something Tim Burton would probably make, or something. I mean, I'm sure you've seen, like, a lot of, like, live actions, like, humans, like, next to, like, a bunch of, like, edited, like, scenes here and there, like, but in terms of, like, Thomas and Magic Railroad, this is, like, the only, like, time Thomas ever, like, has ever interacted with, like, a bunch of live action humans. And now a lot of another thing is that the humans, like, take more of the focus than the engines themselves, but I still think that whenever Lady is on screen, it's literally, like, just makes me happy. I was terrified of Diesel 10, but when Lady was on screen, I just felt like it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen as a kid, even as a small child.
Mm-hmm. You did like it when you were little.
Yeah, I mean, I just liked it when Lady was on screen. I did like Splatter and Dodge because of how, like, funny they were, but I was terrified of Diesel 10 whenever he was on screen.
That
Like,
pinchy thing.
That giant claw on his cap.
Yeah, you were always scared of that.
His like, New Jersey accent.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, his, like, entire, like, scary design overall. Like, he is based off a real life Diesel, but it's just the claw attachment that just makes him scary.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, whenever Lady was on screen, I always thought she was so beautiful. The only thing I wasn't a fan of was the fact that she didn't have a face. But, like, when P.T. Boomer gave her some Welsh coal from, like, the island of Sodor, and when she started, like, chugging down the tracks, blowing her whistle, it was so satisfying to listen to and watch. And that moment when, like, she came back to life and we saw her face and her beautiful voice for the first time, it was, like, one of the most beautiful moments I've ever seen.
Do you like that movie?
I love Thomas and the Magic Railroad. I understand why some people don't like it because of its confusing story and, like, messy, like, production, like, quality. I mean, the voice actors actually did have a fun time. You can tell, like, with Alec Baldwin that he's having fun just from his performance, as well as Michael E. Rogers, who plays Junior. Some people complain that Peter Fonda sounds too boring.
The character's kind of boring, though. It's supposed to be just plain.
Like, Burnett Stone's more like a depressed man since, like, he couldn't get Lady to work again, but when he does get Lady working, he's very happy again. And, I mean, he still sounds a bit, like, unenthusiastic and bored out of his mind, but, I mean, I'm sure he still had a good time, like, working on Magic Railroad as well as Alec Baldwin. Like, when you look at interviews, you can, like, see, like, tell that the actors, like, are, like, showing off, like, that they did have a good time working with such a talented person as Burt Allcroft. And
9 minutes.
I think the only good thing that the Magic Railroad did was, like, it got its money back through merchandise when they sold, like, toys of Lady and Diesel 10.
And Splatter and Dodge. Remember how expensive those used to be?
Not really. Like, I had the wooden versions of Lady, and
they were super expensive on eBay before they got reissued.
I mean, I always think, like,
$60 a piece.
Now, I think they really captured, like, the look of Lady and Diesel 10 perfectly in some types of merchandise. I'd say my favorites are, like, the Tommy Lady and the Old Thomas Wayne Railway one and the Ertl Lady. Like, I don't know if I've already said that, but... And the Golden Bear Talking Lady. Like, there's some, like, Japanese companies that also made Magic Railroad merchandise as well. And I heard that Magic Railroad also had a lot of foreign dubs as well. I mean, there's no, like, UK dub for, like, certain actors. Like, well, if there was, I'm pretty sure they would have replaced Alec Baldwin with Michael Angelis. However, this movie was actually made in Canada. Or at least that's what I'm guessing, since, like, They got actors like Linda Ballantyne and Susan Roman. I mean, I think the models were actually filmed in Toronto, Canada. I'm hoping that's right. And the live action scenes with Shine Time Station were actually filmed on the Strasbourg Railroad with the actual like Rainbow Sun locomotive. Not the same one from Shine Time Station, but it's a different one. But I'm sure you know what I mean. I mean, this movie did try to like cross over between Thomas and Friends and Shine Time Station. I think one of the reasons why it failed was that a lot of UK people didn't know what Shine Time Station was. And for those of you who don't know what Shine Time Station is, it's basically like the first time Thomas ever came to the United States. Where it did have like Mr. Conductor telling stories about Thomas and Friends. And back then, before they turned Soda into like this magical fantasy world. Now, a lot of you could say that Magic Railroad is what made Thomas and Friends go downhill in terms of a franchise. But after that, season 6 just like moved on, like Magic Railroad didn't even exist. Lady and Diesel 10 don't come back until Calling All Engines. They don't really like acknowledge that Soda is like this magical world. They just like continue as normal, like where like season 5 left off. I think season 5 was meant to like hype up Thomas and the Magic Railroad. But anyways,
that sounds right.
I think Lady overall, like here, like this is all like 3 printed material. The side arts are more of an interesting story, but I'll talk more about that when I get back to that. I mean, I do like the way she's painted as well. The colors actually do look pretty nice. Actually, like, I mean, I don't know what type of metallic paint I use. Obviously, I used gold and black for like the buffer beams and the smokestack and the funnel, and as well as the dome.
It looks like faux
and
art. It's pretty.
The lamps.
Pretty thick metallic.
I mean, I don't know what type of like purple I use, but it's this metallic like. I tried to capture that look of Lady's actual color in the actual Magic Railroad movie. I mean, I think like she's probably very accurate to like how she looks. Like, you probably couldn't tell that this was like custom made. You'd think that this was like the actual Lady prop.
It looks pretty good.
I mean, it also looks too real.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think I painted like certain parts before I glued on certain parts. Like, I actually painted the smoke box before I glued on the funnel, just to like avoid getting paint on it.
That's good.
The black parts were already like, I think everything was like separately painted and then glued on. I mean, it does help a lot since like.
Is that the first one you did like that, or one of the later ones?
I think I probably did like the same for like all the other ones I did, like Thomas, James, Toby, Edward. Now, I know people are probably gonna like suggest me to make more Gauge 1 models, but let's be honest, I don't think any model will top Lady. I think she has to be my favorite. I mean, that's not me being biased, saying that Lady's my favorite female engine of the entire series. Yes, I do like other female characters like Emily and Rosie, but I think Lady really here, like, really shines. And I'm just saying that because she's a very magical engine.
Mm-hmm.
And she's what, like, is what gives the Magic Railroad, like, its restoration back. As she's, like, puffing along. Just that, like, I mean, you see, like, Magic Railroad is very, like, dark and, like, empty inside. Like, it's just all black and stuff whenever Thomas travels through, but when you see like Lady puffing through the Magic Road and just seeing all these like golden swirling shimmering sparkles like flowing around her as she's puffing, it's just so satisfying to like see. And when you see like Magic Road get brighter and then Lady's face like showing up as she's like puffing along, like I said, it's very satisfying. And it's followed up with like the infamous chase scene where Diesel 10 comes in and like tries to chase after Thomas and Lady. But like I said, I mean, I just love like the music and like how dark it is, and like as they're like puffing along, and, like Diesel 10's like just like talking like in his like Russian accent, like pinching his claw and growling as Thomas and Lady are chuffing, trying to get away from him. It's just so satisfying to me. I mean, it's still a bit scary, yes,
15.
but just the way the bridge collapses and like hearing the ending where Bernard Stone's cheering Thomas on, and they're both blowing their whistles, and seeing Diesel 10 fall off the viaduct to his defeat.
Right.
It was, I mean, the movie does get better once Lady comes back to life and Diesel 10 is defeated. It's not as dark when like I said, whenever Diesel 10 was on screen, it scared me, but when Lady was on screen, it just made things better. I think that's what I love so much about Magic Railroad. It's like when you get older, you don't really like get scared as much.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, now, if you're wondering like how I made the face, you might be thinking, well, is it 3D printed? No, it's actually made out of like oven baked clay. You're probably also asking yourself, did I sculpt the face myself? That I didn't. So how did I make the face? Well, I actually took my golden bear lady and just like put clay over it and made what's like called a relief mask.
Mm-hmm.
And a relief mask is basically like when you like put clay on a type of face and like,
And then
you
fire
like
the clay to make a mold.
yeah, and then you like just do the same thing where you put clay on the face mold.
Fill it. Yep.
Like you fill it in and then like you bake it again so it becomes hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just glued it on the face on the smoke box here.
That's been a while back that we did that.
Now I could have also made the smoke box door, but let's be honest, I probably wouldn't like have liked it as much. Like whenever I saw a lady without a face, it just like rubbed me the wrong way. I mean,
It's
not
kind of freaky.
I mean, I know in real life that trains don't have faces. And if they did, it would be a little bit uncanny. I mean, some people theorize that Thomas the Tank Engine is just like well, someone already made like a Shed 17 documentary where like the trains actually became, well, the humans actually like were turning to trains.
Oh.
But it's not canon to the actual show. It's just a parody of Thomas and Friends. Right. Much like a few other parodies that they've done. But anyways. Now, like I said, Lady is basically God herself. She gives like the train's life. And if she dies, they all go down with her. I'm surprised that Diesel 10 hasn't like realized that if he destroys her, he might also die as well, along with Splatter and Dodge. But anyways, anyways, now onto the side rods, like I mentioned. So the side rods are actually like 3D printed. However, like the front parts are like actually toothpicks. This is sort of like what I did with like my Gauge 1 Percy. But unlike Percy, I think Lady side rods came out much better, and they function much better than Percy's. Now, I sort of made Lady as like make up for like the side rods I made for Percy. I think I made Percy side rods as like a prototype, but with Lady, like I think her side rods came out much better. Now, there's actually a little hole on the front of Lady's side rods, and when you like and I put the toothpicks on the front, but however, I actually cut them like slightly off and then glued another part of the toothpick like on top of it and like stuck it in the hole, and that's how the side rods get working. I think this is like very helpful since I didn't have to like actually print the crossheads themselves. Now you probably could say that I probably should still print the crossheads, and I might do that at some point, but for now I'm actually pretty satisfied with how the side rods came out. They do work. I actually shown off some video. I actually like record some video footage of them actually working, which I'll probably do like which I'll probably put up on screen. But the side rods do turn, and when they do turn, it's so satisfying. Like the way they turn is that like they turn like with the side rods, but you just see like this thing pumping in and out of the cylinders, which is pretty satisfying. Now, unfortunately, one side rod does work, but the other side rod just keeps falling off. Like I said, I think I might have made like the post like that sticks into the hole like a bit too small, and I think that's why it's falling out. So I might actually like redo that just to, like get her working. But one thing about these Gauge 1 files is that they don't really have any motors, like they're just free rolling. And I obviously couldn't get the eye mechanism since that'd be too hard. I mean, if I made Diesel 10, that'd be a totally different story. I think he'd be like more of a hassle to make since I'd have to like make his actual like fully functioning claw on his cab and like try to print him at like a large scale. And like I said, the only thing that these files are missing are the faces themselves. I don't know why Jamos Trainus doesn't just make the faces themselves. I don't know if maybe that's because like he probably doesn't want them taken down by Mattel or like what, but at some point it would be nice if Jamos Trainus actually made files for the 3 faces, like just to go with the actual Gauge 1 models themselves. I think that would really help a lot. Since I would like to make other characters at some point, like the narrow gauge engines, Stepney, Duck, Oliver. The possibilities are endless. But for right now, I'm actually satisfied with how Lady came out. I feel pretty content with her being like the only like last Gauge 1 model I make for a while, because like like I said, I don't think any model I make at this point will top Lady. I think she probably has one of the best designs. Like, her paint job is so beautiful. Another thing is that I really like how, like, another thing I really love is that the name is in cursive. Like, it's just so satisfying to look at. I mean, I actually took a toothpick and like actually wrote the cursive lettering on there and did the lining as well. You probably could say that I probably could have used like pinstriping, just like make sure the lines aren't that rough and messy, but I try to be as smooth as I can with the lining. But overall, I actually think Lady came out pretty good. Another thing you probably could do is like you probably could like add like burnt stone in the cab.
Oh, that'd be cute. Yeah.
I mean, they actually did make like a full-size Lady prop that is actually like the size of an actual train itself.
So that the person could go in it.
So that Burnett Stone, like Peter Fonda, could like actually fit inside and ride it. Now, they do like make close-up models of like the actual engine's cabs and like bigger versions of the human figures themselves. Now, the only humans in the Magic Road are the live-action humans. I don't know what it'd be like if they actually put like the wooden figures of the other humans and like had like live-action humans interacting with them. I think that'd be pretty weird as well. However, there are some people who have tried to like rewrite Thomas in the Magic Railroad to like make it better and not have like Thomas only like get little to no screen time. He only appears in like the movie for like 12 minutes. And if you combine like all the train scenes, they only appear in the movie for like 26 minutes in this 1 hour and 30-minute movie.
22.
All right. So overall, I think Lady here came out very nice. Like, she looks very accurate to like the actual Lady model, and I'm so happy. So for those of you who have enjoyed this video, let me know by leaving a like on this video, and subscribe if you're new here if you want to see more Thomas the Tank Engine related stuff. And I might probably post more Magic Rare videos in the future, but we'll just have to wait and see. But overall, I think Lady came out very nice. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in Shine Time.